All right, welcome everybody to round 3 of what used to be Shaar Hagilgulim. We're throwing you a curveball this week, and we're going to do a Shaar Hagilgulim. You're like, what? The Arizal wrote Shaar Hagilgulim, right through Chaim Vital, if you want to be particular, but basically, in the Kisvei Arizal, the Torah of the Arizal, of the 8 gates, Shmona Sharim, Shaar Hagilgulim, the Gate of Reincarnations, is one of the books. And that's what we did 2 classes already on. See previous downloads if you're just hearing this now. But there's another book by the Arizal that's, I would say, more quoted than Shaar Hagilgulim, and it's Sefer Hagilgulim. And most people are confused and think like Ramban and Rambam are the same guy. I know I made that mistake a lot. People think these 2 books are the same book. So after years, literally, of searching, I finally got a good copy of Sefer Hagilgulim. And I did it. I went through it and did it. And I like it. And it makes sense because, like I said, people quote Sefer more than Shaar. Why he wrote 2, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know why there was a need to write 2 separate books. Maybe one was more refined than the other. I don't know how that story goes. But I just thought, since we started Shaar Hagilgulim and we got a nice little flow, I want to just see how the 2 books compare and contrast and are different and the way they open up. Because as you probably have realized, I'm realizing, the way a book starts sets the tone, 1 or 2. Should be giving me a bunch of 1s on that one. All right? So we had a really great start of Shaar Hagilgulim. And if you know my style by now, I take the longest route possible, 1 or 2. Can't you just say your message in 5 minutes, Rabbi Katz, and get on with it? No, I can't. I like the long route. There's plenty of things to see. Let's check it out. It's not going to hurt looking things up and getting stronger. Pun intended for those that heard that. They're brilliant. Right? Why not? That's how Torah works. The more work you give yourself, the stronger you get. And if getting stronger is in your lexicon, then that's in your lexicon. If it's not, then I guess I'm here to get you interested on the concept of getting stronger. As we brought down about 20 minutes ago, that seems to be what the message is about. I think that's really what Ger is. It's people that seek to get stronger and learn the wisdom of how to be stronger. I know in wrestling, I did not understand strength. The coach would say, Cats, post up, post up. And when a guy goes for your leg, you're supposed to just put the palm of your hand on the mat and straighten your arm. And I'm saying, well, that's a dumb move. But as an adult who's a fan of the sport now, you see the Olympians, they post up, meaning for some reason the way God made the anatomy of man, when you in positions, you what's the word? Not form, but I can't think of the word. Posture, I guess. In certain positions, you become infinitely strong. Right? Certain things, certain formation. That's when you go into formation, you're infinitely stronger than when you try to muscle it, right? A pitcher in baseball can throw 100 miles per hour with mechanics. I can throw about 20 miles per hour like a madman, 1 or 2. And it doesn't mean that I will get better at pitching if I just somehow muster up enough strength, right? I mean, can I be a professional player? Can I theoretically just get really strong in my shoulder and throw the ball really hard? Will that make me a professional pitcher? Maybe I should actually go out and try out for the Cubs and do it. The answer is no. No matter how hard you try, it's not working. Right? Let's say if I want, Travis, I want you to give me $1 million. Make it realistic. Travis, I need $10,000, okay? Pretty please, 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 please. If I say please enough, will it work? Can I convince you? Why not? Pretty please. Pretty, 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 pretty please. Please, 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 please. I'll be here. It's like Reuven when he wants $500. Please, 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 whatever you have. If it's even crumbs from your table, please. Reuven wanting chocolate. That's what it comes down to. When Reuven wants chocolate, is there anything he can do from the side of strength? No. There's nothing he can do. When 8 o'clock comes, dude, it's bedtime, Lila Tov. Reality is not stopping that you got school in the morning, and that's just how it is. But what if Reuven what if he had finesse come over me? Like, he stops, like Zach Morris timeout and says, look, Dad, if it's how does the famous line go from Jeff Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, right? If I'm here on my time and it's your time, doesn't it make it our time? Certainly there's not a problem with watching Transformers on our time. Chances are I'll give in. Now, that's a pretty good answer. I'm going to give in, and you just bought yourself 20 more minutes, tough guy. Way to go, right? What did he do? He got infinitely stronger. I'm not interested in debating a 7-year-old, but I might be interested in having an intellectual dialogue with a sassy 7-year-old. This is how the state of Israel was born. Herzl knew how to get in to people, right? He wanted like $1 billion, and he asked Rothschild for it. Now, you can't just call Rothschild and say, hey, I got this idea. Can I have like $1 billion? But he knew how to use strength. He sent like an envelope saying, if you just open this and then you want to hear more, I sent you another envelope, put it in the mail, and I'll get back to you. Like something like that. It's power. You can increase power from wisdom. In camera work, if you know how to use a camera right, you strengthen the light in the image. If you don't do it right, as many of you see in my YouTube videos, it's horrible. Wisdom, focus, mechanics. Okay. With that said, in Torah mechanics and wisdom, the longer the route that you take will only help to improve your path and trajectory in Torah. One or two. Just the more things you see, the more scarred. It's like, how does what do you call that? The Thai fighters, Muay Thai, kickboxing. How do they strengthen their legs? Travis, Eric? I want to be a Muay Thai kickboxer. How do you strengthen your leg? And yeah, you build the calcium deposit in your leg that your leg becomes a club. They literally turn their legs into clubs. That's how a lot of sports are. Right? You callus your hands so they don't tear. So in Torah, it's like building good callus, right? You're going in and out of the same opening, which makes like a calcium deposit, so to speak, in your neural pathways. Repetition, discipline. It does work that way. It's like a martial art. So with that said, let's start Shaar Hagilgulim. I don't have any idea what this, where this should go. I don't know if we're going to ever repeat it again. I think just for the sake of contrast, we should at least open up the book and see where the Arizal starts this book, and maybe figure out in meditation, dialogue, what the two meanings of the books are about. Ready? Here we go. In fact, I think I just got the answer kind of downloaded in my brain. That's beside the point. Let's go. Hine noda ki kvar biarnu bidrush adam kadman inyan oisam hazayin malachim shemalchu be'eretz edom. Who wants to translate that? Behold, it is known that we already explained in the discourse of Adam Kadmon. See, he's referring to a discourse in the highest Kabbalistic world that he gave somewhere called Adam Kadmon. But I don't know where he got it from. He's like, there's no source here. So in order to know the Arizal really well, you would have to know which drush he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, I could probably figure it out. That's one thing. But there was an expounding explanation on Adam Kadmon, and he's saying, hey, remember when we did that? The Inyan of those 7 kings on the matter of the primordial 7 kings that ruled in the land of Edom. Give me a 1 if you know the reference, 2 if you don't know the reference. All right, so some of you know the reference. Some of you don't know the reference. How many of you have heard of the breaking of the primordial vessels? Type 2 if you have not heard of the breaking of the primordial vessels. Okay. Bonus question. Can you tell me where the Arizal in his Kabbalah derives the breaking of the primordial vessels from? In Genesis, by exactly Esau's legacy, they learn out the 7 kings that died. The last king didn't die. His name was Hadar, the 8th king. His wife's name was Mehitavel. And it's a very, very obscure passage in Bible that apparently is the opening to all of Kabbalah. We're talking primordial, that which led to the creation of Adam and Eve. We're talking like the beginning. No, this Adam and Eve were born out of the primordial breaking. Adam was reality that set into motion the Kabbalistic universe that God created. But based on Adam's sin or mitzvah would dictate the Kabbalistic universe. You understand? Let's say when I come into class, and this is the truth of the matter, I can either upset your nefesh or I can make your nefesh happy. 1 or 2. I can walk in and I can say, hello, my fellow lowlifes. How are you? Or I can walk in and say, hello, my fellow friends. How are you? And then you can say, well, nobody would walk in and say, hello, how are you, my fellow lowlifes? Let's say I'm condescending. I'm in a bad mood. I really don't like my job. So I placate you, right? Now you have a task on your hands. Do you trust your nefesh? Right? Do you trust your nefesh? If I'm placating you and you feel a little funny, you gotta answer it up. You know, when you ask me a question, I say, oh, wow, you're asking that from all the way over from where you are. Oh, I'm just kidding. I don't really mean it like that. Well, now you got issues, don't you? 1 or 2. You know, is he kidding with us? Is he with us? I mean, I kind of like the guy. He's confusing. If you're going to send mixed messages, you're going to send mixed messages. What's the number 1 rule? Don't send mixed messages. Minimize people's plight in life. But it's all the nefesh experience. You understand? Let's say that I got revelation from God that I have to give you guys a quiz in order to do next week's class. Do you want that anxiety? I mean, it's not the end of the world. Okay, I didn't go to Rabbi Katz's class anymore. But he's giving me some kind of shtick that if I don't take the quiz and get a passing mark, he's going to drop the class. It's just, who needs that extra anxiety? I got better things to do than do that. Yeah, some people like Rabbi Katz is the greatest teacher ever. He gives us a quiz and he won't go on, so you can't win them all. Adam's job was to succeed in the nephesh. We are repairing the nephesh situation that we inherited from Adam's free will choice, one or two. God calls it a sin, let's say through Torah wisdom. We know that Adam was lobasator. We don't know why. Part of Torah philosophy, if not entirely, is understanding why it's not so cool to eat an apple from the person taken from your rib, so to speak. I mean, what really happened? What's the deal? Was it her fault, his fault, the snake's fault? Was he meant to sin? So if you care enough, you'll start to investigate it. But on a plain, simple level, we know that things got out of control. And therefore, we know that we are suffering the fate of Adam. We know that on a simple level. All right. With that said, the primordial kings, they were the first creation of anything even remotely physical when God created the world. Adam and Eve were as physical as me and you, for all intents and purposes. Right? It was created reality. Our job is to understand what that reality was. But the kings were the first part of created reality, as opposed to spiritual construct. One or two. Now, if you were really good, you would understand God's initial action of, let's call it Simsum of his light. But you're not that good, are you? None of you are that good. You have a limit on how spiritual you can be. We're trying to refine our vessel to be so spiritual that we can grasp faint concepts, right? Like people that study NLP, understand very subtle body movements that other people don't pick up on, right? If I go turkey hunting, I know the tendencies of a turkey that most people would never have a clue of what I'm on about. One or two. Highly sensitive. In spirituality, I guess on kind of 1 foot, the Vilna Gaon foot, what you're trying to do is you are a coarse vessel. You are trying to purify your vessel, the Travis Armstrong word of merit, which really means purify, enlighten, make less coarse, become refined. Now, and that's a vast topic. What I mean, how do you just, like the what do you call it? The Game of Thrones meme. One does not just refine his vessel. So this is where Torah comes in, wisdom. You have to find the path of refinement. I mean, that is the job of the job. How do you refine the vessel? And that's what it's so vast. So the answer is you got to connect to your identity and your mazel and your wisdom, and you can only do what you do. You can only be you and do what you do. I can't refine you, and you can't refine me. I can't be Eric Bryan in my life, and wow, he's so refined. I should just mimic Eric Bryan, and all will be okay. Not so. This was my biggest problem with music. I'm saying like this. If my name is Slash and I work for Guns N' Roses, can't I just be a master of every sound of the guitar in the world? The answer is no. Slash has his 5 moves that he does, and that's it. If I'm a wrestler, can't I just be like the master of all moves? Whatever you do, I have a perfect counter for. Dan Gable says you're an idiot. You got 3 moves, know them well, and that's it. And I'm realizing limitation is beautiful. I am a very limited person. And that's what we have to become in our craft. You appreciate the limitation. Michael Jordan was a very limited basketball player, if you think about it. In fact, I saw a quote the other day that they were comparing Clyde Drexler to him back in the day. That Clyde Drexler was a better 3-point shot, so he was better than Michael. Michael said, I choose to not shoot it as much as Clyde. Right? I choose to not be many things. I mean, I technically could do a lot more things than I'm doing. My mother says, Dave, you missed the boat. You should have been a stand-up comedian. I tell her I'd be the only stand-up comedian in the world that people would go to my show and they would say he's funny, and they would not one person would laugh. They would just say he's right. Not one person would laugh. They'd just say, yeah, that guy's right. Okay. I don't get it. We came out for beers, and then he's just right. George Carlin, he figured out how to make the same thing but make people laugh at the same time. That was his gift. George Carlin was not funny. He was just right. But he was so right and on deep level, he triggered the funny bone. He had no choice but to laugh. So if you were to understand the 7 primordial kings, you would have elevated your vessel to a very angelic realm. You understand? The whole thing of the beauty of Ger, so to speak, of coming out of Christianity, of Avodah Zarah, and into holiness. And I'm not even, it's not Ger. It's like that path of Torah. It's the beauty of being born in Klippa. And I can relate as a Bo Tshuva, right? A little bit, not exactly the same, but and the ability to grow into something. I'll give you an example. Kyle Snyder is a world champion wrestler from America. And he's the youngest to do it at 19 years old. Remember when you were 15? Type 1. You were pathetic as opposed to who you are now in terms of your power, right? Whatever you are now, and whatever you were at 15, you are pathetic when you're 15. So this guy, he turned the manhood corner from 18 to 19. Everyone should type 1 of turning that corner, man-womanhood, from 18, 19, that age. Remember when you started to discover your power? Well, as a wrestler, this guy went from baby fat to thick forearms and manhood. And he was discovering the power that he had. It's like a cat. You ever seen a cat grow up from kitten to young cat? And it discovers what it can do? It's that discovery. And the thing is, life is like that, and you're destined to discover. That's the beauty of it. Ger is destined to discover holiness. It's the ultimate path for those that don't want to be stagnant and static. You understand what I'm saying? It's like if you want to actually grow and tangibly grow and see growth, that's Ger. I mean, I've seen so many beautiful people come through my life in this, and literally remembering who they were 5 years ago and seeing who they are today, it'll make you cry. It's one of those things. It's a beautiful thing. If you don't want growth, then we all know the pathways available for that. So there's the idea of shedding klippa, right? It's a Kabbalistic kind of experience of life. And Judaism exists too. And for me, it was being born and being raised sort of in Dayton, Ohio, and discovering the same thing as Ger, but just in a slightly different way. Discovering an innate holiness that was always there. In layman terms, it was discovering the gefilte fish in my refrigerator that was there all through my life, and I only appreciate it now at 38 years old. You see what I'm saying? It was there at 15, and I didn't know that that was my Jewish identity. That was my neshama staring at me. I didn't know. It's called Or Makif. The outer lights were there, but you have to grow in holiness and age and experience to appreciate them. That's where I purify. You understand my experience? I grow into appreciating the gefilte fish in the refrigerator. The Ger experience is growing, covering ground. I was there, now I'm here. So I'll tell you a definition of the Sfirot. I'm starting to learn Etz Chaim on Shabbos. Blowing my mind. How many of you have heard of Sfirot? Everyone should type 1. Then the famous Chaim Chlorphine question, how many of you know what a Sphira is? You should now type 2. So the Rizal actually gives a fantastic definition. You ready for this? Armstrong, you ready for this? This is like one of my top 5 of all-time favorites. Okay. Creation is God creating the situation repetitively. 1 or 2. Type 1. You go to the bank. Did you just walk in? You just kick the door open? Did that has happened? And you don't know what's going to happen. Now, you've been to the bank a million times. But by honest logic, you don't know what's going to be, right? Is it going to be one person ahead of you in line or like 20? Nafkamina, the difference is, are you sitting on the bench? Are you going to play with your phone? Are you like hyped up? You're next? What's it going to be? Do you know the answer? You should type 2. Now, you're going to figure it out. Type 1. You're going to figure it out. And about 5 minutes in, you're going to hop shot, right? All right, we got the slow girl working. There's 3 guys ahead of me. A little bit hot in here. I don't know. They must not like air conditioner today. I'm feeling a little bit rushed, right? The wife wants me to bring home groceries. I haven't done that yet. I got a report for work due, right? You're figuring out who you are in the bank, right? You got your number, and 5 minutes in, you've figured out your mazel. You know how it's going to go. Right? The woman in line ahead of you, she took about 3 minutes. The woman in front of you, after her, is another 3 minutes you figure out. And after it's all said and done, it worked out. It was about 3 minutes. You were out of there in about 10 minutes. Type 1. You connected to it. Sometimes there's a curveball. You've basically figured it out. You walked out with no surprises. So if I were to call you right now at the bank, what are you going to tell me? Hey, Rabbi Katz, I can't really talk now. I'm at the bank. It's going to be about 10 minutes. Let me call you after I get dinner ready. Yeah? All right. You can feel where I'm at, right? Now, God created that situation. That's number 1. The Ramchal says God creates every situation. So when God is creating the situation, you know why you don't know what's going on at the bank right when you walk in? Do you know why? Because it's not about you. You are not the star of the show. You know what? Sometimes you are the star of the show. When you know what's going on before you even walk in, then you are the star of the show. And sometimes you are the star of the show. Sometimes I just know what's going on. Sometimes I don't. When you walk in the fog, you embrace the fog. When you walk in the light, you say, when you're cool, the sun is always shining. Now, if it's one of those times that you're not the star, and when you got 3 minutes till the lights come on, right? And you'll find your part in the story. You might be the impatient customer. You might be my favorite customer. You might be the irrelevant customer. You might be the guy I'm going to spill coffee on. Type 1. You might be the guy getting annoyed by the crying baby. You might be the one appalled by the filth in the bank. Right? Your number will be called. Don't worry. Metaphorically, and you're literally and figuratively there. When God is creating that situation, Shefa is coming down because God removed the light. Can you see that? Type 1 or 2. The fact that you don't know means the light is removed. Type 1. When that light is removed, don't we say in Kabbalah a new light residue took its place? Okay. So there is a light there from the removal of the light, the histalkus of the light. And you're saying, but it's still, Rabbi Katz, it's so bright, I still don't quite get it. I know I'm at the bank and I know I'm waiting, but I'm not in the light yet, right? There's still some development that needs to happen. What has happened is God has poured Shefa over 10 powers. I don't know what the 10 powers are. I'm not one of the 10 powers. It's just known there are 10 powers that receive the Shefa. I don't know yet what they are. It might be money, the cashier, dirt, security guard, TV. I don't know. There's a power of 10 that received Shefa from God. If I'm the security guard, I just got empowered. Did I not? What do you expect to happen with me when you walk in? and I say, can I check your bag, please? Did I not get the chef up before you? You're not in control. You're in my world now. Put your bag here. Do you have a gun? That's one power. Let's say the machine is the other power. Let's say the whole thing is you walking through the metal detector. That's called a proper situation, is it not? And there are 10 powers of that situation. Now, those 10 powers unite into 5. You understand that? There's a consolidation. There's a whole repair that went down. There's a storyline. There's, the ancient. There's the man. There's the woman. And there's the younger man and the younger woman. Whatever metaphor you need to understand that, when you're going through a metal detector, it's there. Now, you might not be spiritual enough to get it. Chances are you're not. Not yet. Hold on. You're probably too egotistical to figure it out. You're concerned about you getting in the bank, right? You're really not, you weren't ready for the security guard to be an enlightening experience. You're just passing through a metal detector, type 1. Not expecting Moshe Rabbeinu of metal detectors. But it is there in reality. You're just too egotistical to see it. Right? It's all about me and then getting through. And it's not about, did you ever think about the feelings of the security guard? I'll tell you what, you want a mind-blowing meditation to do? In Modine, there's a mall that I go to because you have to pay the bills at the mall. So there's like a pathetic security guard at every entrance. This is Israel. And you got to, they say you got a gun. Well, okay, no. You put your bag in, your cell phone, your keys, you walk through, you grab your bag, and you move on. I thought about 3 weeks ago, put yourself in that guy's position. Is that not fantastic? You know what I'm saying? Just imagine that. Like, stop. Look around. There's the ticket machine. There's the escalator. People coming in. Imagine this guy stands there for 5 hours a day. Can you cop that? It's phenomenal. You start to see his world. You literally see this guy's world. It becomes familiar. And what it is, it's sad. It's a dark, dingy mall entrance. And you just send people through. I mean, can you imagine this? This guy lives that. It's not theory. And we've all had those kind of jobs that we can relate with them. You see what I'm saying? We've all been a host of the restaurant. The idiot kid working at a restaurant where you just stand around looking stupid, or a cashier, right? And you get real bored. I remember I worked at a video store in Centerville. The night shift at the VHS movie rental place. It wasn't Blockbuster. It was like a generic one. You know what I'm saying? It's not exactly fun and enlightening. You get real used to it real quick. The workers you work with, they get real familiar real quick. Be kind of mind. So you can understand now the powers of 10 to the guy at the mall. Can you now see the powers of 10? They do. That guy has powers of 10. He has a power of 10 if he wants it. Look what you're saying, Catherine. That guy's empowered if he wants to. How about taking pride in your work? Hi, how are you? Have a nice day. Hey, how are you? Have a gun on you? No? All right, great. Enjoy the mall. Take care. Hey, how are you? I remember you. What's your name? Bobby? Here you go, Bobby. Here's a lollipop. Have a great day. Be good to your parents. That guy can be having the time of his life. So there are powers of 10 of that, of the what do you call it? The metal detector. If you are enlightened enough, you could become one of those powers of 10, correct? You got to bittul yesh, nullify yourself. Wherever you go, you can be a superstar as long as it's not about you. Go on a mitzvah. So basically, like we're saying, you can get revelation of the Shekhinah and the powers of 10 and Sfirot if you elevate your vessel. If it's about you, you're not elevated. We don't need you at the metal detector. It's not about you coming through my metal detector. But if you want to join the game, you're more than welcome to join in. You can be a part of the metal detecting experience every time you come. It's optional. We let you in. You gotta purify your way in. That's the definition of the Sfirot. Is that not profound? It's a power of 10 that receives Shefa. You can be that power. You can be the consolidated part of the 5 also. Or from that moment, it just becomes fractal. Which one are you? Are you the mom? Are you the dad? Are you the girl? Are you the boy? Are you the enlightened wise one? Or are you the one that was before all of that, the ancient primordial one who was part of the original 10? One or two? And that's really Kabbalah 101. So in the beginning, in the early construct, which, let's say, the innards to the 10, right? I run the metal detector, okay? I am one of the 10, type 1. I'm one of the 10. What made me great was I was built out of the 7 primordial kings. Now, what that would look like in Asiya, this world, I had confidence in myself, and I applied for a job at the mall because I can read, and I read they were hiring for that job. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be a serviceman of mankind, and I'm going to uphold my duty, and I'm going to get that job. Now, whether or not I was conscious to that, I don't know. That really depends on is my calling being that guy, or is it just a talent that I have? Because if you did it, it's a talent that you have. Some people just cannot do that job. Let's pretend that I am talented. You know, I'm retired. I'm 65, and I just love working at the mall. What do you call it? Metal detector. Call me crazy. I might be a Walmart greeter. I'm whatever it is. You know, people work, people do it. It's part of life, and people love it. It's not for everybody, but it is for who it is. And I'm one of the guys that loves it. So I understand the primordial wisdom. I don't know if I can articulate it, but if you were to actually be crazy enough and pull me aside, and this is also very Ger. This guy would be a Ger. 100 billion%. If you pulled him aside and said, hey, I see your name tag is Steve. Steve, my name is Dave. Hey, Dave, nice to meet you. Listen, Steve, one does not simply become a metal detector worker at a mall. How did you do it? Now, I might be being facetious to this guy, but he would have like the gall to come back and say, listen, Davey boy, do you think it is as simple as that to become a metal detector guy at the mall? Let me tell you what I do when I really do use my wisdom. I can detect why you're here at this mall and what you're coming to do. And, they have an exchange of wisdom. And Dave, I see the guy and I say, man, that guy blew my mind. He read me like a book. So that's it. So, you talk to those people that do it for the sake of heaven. That's a Ger, man. He's with God. He's with God. He's with God. He's with God. He has refined his vessel. I don't have to be the guy. I can even be the guy, part of the original 10 at the metal detector, and I matter to God, and God has employed me in his world, and I couldn't have a better job in the world. Well, how much better can I have it than being me at my job? Without the ego, right? Okay, so the 7 kings, again, are like the chaimer, the matter that God stirred up to eventually create what would become the 10 Sefirot. You understand? Those powers of 10, they do manifest as a metal detector, a possibility of a gun, a man working there, a ticket machine, a janitor with a mop, some random employee at a change booth, an escalator, right? Those are physical things that have manifested. You call that mundane because you're the low life, not it. When you purify, you elevate the concept. You understand? God put those there and it looks mundane. As Mike would say, those are the three worlds of Bia. Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya. You call it mundane. God doesn't. When you take the escalator up, you are ascending. That's called an ascension. Why do you call it an escalator you spit on? Why do you not call that I am now ascending? You are too mundane to make it a holy spiritual experience. But if you work on yourself, obviously, what am I going to say? Everything in this world becomes a spiritual holy experience. It's up to you. How much do you want to go? That's right. You made it vulgar. Doesn't have to be, but it's up to you. But the kings, where there was like the primordial matter, as Q said in Star Trek, primordial goo, that was limitless potential that would eventually make up the 10 powers. Whether it's an escalator at the metal detector, Walmart greeter and the shopping carts, breakfast at Denny's, okay? Cohen Guddle in the base of Mitish. Whatever it is, God draws from the mundane. God calls it holy and sanctifies it as a mitzvah of spiritual creation. Your job is to connect to it. Type 1. So that's the 7 kings. You're not good enough to know the 7 kings. As God rhetorically says, were you there when I created my world? Right? You can learn about it. You can get into the mohin of it, but you're not one of the 7 kings, right? You don't God said to Job, did you predate creation? But you can be a part of their world. It's like this. You know your parents before you were born? Type 2. You don't even know where you came from. You have no idea where your skin and your blood and bones came from. You weren't there. You were not there the day before you were born. But you were born into it, and you kind of feel like you understand your family, don't you? You all feel like you understand your parents on a certain level. But you're not a primordial king. You're not your mom and dad. You are infinitely beyond and far away from your mom and dad. You're not them. But you can get into their mohin, right? Their physicality rubs off on you. You can kind of figure things out. All right. Now, is that a good take on what I mean by the 7 kings and all these things? So you are Adam and Eve. You are you are Adam and Eve. You are Adam and Chava. And you're trying to figure out where you came from. Is that not the plight of mankind? Who are my primordial kings? Do I belong at the metal detector? Do I belong on stage? Do I belong in a restaurant? Who are my 7 kings? What king am I indigenous to? What 10 powers do I belong to? Where I'm so pure and holy, I want to know what are my powers of 10? Where do I not even matter? Where am I one of the players of 10 where it's not even about me? You understand what I'm saying? I'm kind of saying like ego, but where can I be one of the 10? Where am I receiving from the 10? Where am I one of the 5? Where am I, just one of the guys? Where am I one of the gals? You see how you can fit in? And then let's say you settle. I'm dad. I'm like, they're looking around the bank. Oh, I'm one of those guys. There, I'm dad. Hi, everybody. I'm dad mode. Got the stroller. I'm dad. Everyone sees me as dad. Got the Crocs, the cargo shorts and T-shirt. It's dad. But dad can figure out now where his identity comes from. He can now start to find those 7 kings. Why am I dad? what's the physicality that built this surreal image of a situation that I'm trying to receive the powers of the Shefa from 10, and I'm just one of the 5 types within the 10. You see how Loriana Kabbalah is very logical and algorithmic, right? You can just kind of follow the stream of logic, and then you work it back as far as you're willing to purify and make yourself holy. If you want to look around in the bank as dad about how many women you can impress, I'm sorry, that's not too holy, it's not too pure, and you're going to hit your head on the ceiling. You're a big guy. We call you a big guy. And that's fine. No crime, right? You don't have to be enlightened. When I go to buy a new MP3 player, I'm sorry, I didn't read all the techie magazines. I don't know. I'm a bit of a moron, man. But I'm embracing the fog. I'm asking you, just don't rip me off. I'm not in the mood to bust out my cape and S on my chest and prove to you that you're a charlatan and you just want to make a quota. I would rather trust you and get a nice sale and say thank you and come again and tell my friends, hey, go talk to Bob at Best Buy. He's awesome. I would like that to be my reality. I might be delusional. I might be in fantasy land. Call me old school. I believe that the world has good people in it. Basically, what I'm saying is the Walmart greeter might be enlightened. He might. And everyone that knows my talk at Rod's last year, which I promised I won't do again this year, John at Best Buy was an awesome, awesome dude. Right? It just was an awesome dude. I met a good person. It doesn't always happen. Right? But we do meet them. And if you guys heard my interview with Shifra, right? The Dead Can Dance experience. Hospitable. Some people are hospitable. And you learn as you get older how to avoid the guy who hates his job. You know, you're not a power of 10. You're not even one of the 5. You are a deeply fractal, low-life moron that I'm taking advantage of. I hope you don't see me that way. Right? We're speaking of the creation, you know. Sometimes I might be that. I'm just too tired and lazy to get up on top of the curve. I'm sorry. You know, we put our free will into people's hands. They can either be hospitable or take advantage. The alternative is when you're tired of it, of exploitation, then you know the name of the game. What is it? Stop being a low fractal. Make yourself one of the 5. Elevate to 10. Get into the primordial kings. I'm sorry, but Bob Evan, I can make eggs better than you. You understand? Type 1. I'm a Bob Evan, and this is Ira Michelson 101. He taught me that he cannot go to a restaurant and order pasta anymore. And he taught me I can't either. I guarantee you, every one of you people here knows how to make a better pasta dish for a fraction of the cost than what you'll get in a restaurant. Type 1. It's a little bit of work and a lot of dirty pans, but man, you're wasting your money. And when Ira taught me that, I about had a heart attack. I mean, you're paying what, 20, 30 bucks for something that'll just, it's not even a hard work for you. You just don't want to do all the dishes. But it'll cost you $3. Do you really want to spend 30 bucks a pop? I know I don't. So you decide how much of your life you'll have wisdom in. It's up to you. It's up to you. And you know what? You can be a billionaire and pay everyone to do your stuff. Do you realize how ignorant you'll be? It's beyond lazy and lethargic in terms of that attitude. Which is, by the way, the biggest thing in learning Torah. Everybody has had this, what I'm about to say, you've all thought this Torah thought. What do you think? What are the chances of me saying something now that I guarantee every one of you has thought? Dare me? What I'm going to do is make really good friends with a rabbi, and then he'll just teach me like the whole Torah. You know? He'll just I'll know the whole Torah. He'll teach me the whole Torah. Any twos on that? Well, I thought of I remember being in a Baal Tshuva with, hey, I found my Kiruv rabbi. This is pretty cool. Why do I need to learn Hebrew words when you're going to teach me the whole Torah? And then you realize English gets worse and worse and worse. Travis Armstrong. Then you realize, man, the only way to go is Hebrew. Then either you fall off and you become Nebuch, or you realize Hebrew's not that hard. Hebrew's not that hard, type 1. It just isn't. You know what? Playing ping pong is hard. But guess what happens when you play ping pong every day for 3 weeks? Guess what happens? Let's hear it. You play ping pong every day for 3 weeks. Guess what happens? You start to be able to hit the ball a little better. You can even hold your own. Look at that. You can play a game. Isn't that something? We all are horrible at billiards. Type 1. Then you play every day. You find your little bar in town. It's fun. And they got dartboards, right? With all that experience, you find a cool bar with dartboards and billiards, and you play every day for a week or two. What happens? You find out you got pretty good. You might run the table for a night. Wow, I'm pretty good. Okay, you can hold that level. No one's expecting you to become the next Black Widow. All right, but you can hold your own. You can hold your own. If you can just idle at that level of Hebrew, it's good enough that you're not begging the rabbi to hold your hand the rest of your life. Shena'atzlu kaidem Atzilus, that he emanated before Atzilus, the proper 10 Sefirot world. Umesu, and they died. God brought about their demise. Besod Baina Oilamis, Umachriven, and the secret of building the worlds and destroying them. You know why there's oil in the earth? Because God ruled the world through 7 kings, and a bunch of stuff happened, whether it's dinosaurs and ferns dying, I don't know. But the world has wisdom embedded in it, and it came from the primordial kings. I'm saying God ruled the world physically through spiritual intervention, and then bore us into that world for us to make use of that world. He just built the worlds and destroyed them. And after that, he filtered and purified the good that's in them. That was fit for Atzilus. Right? When you walked into the mall, God figured out, based on where Travis is at right this second, I'm going to create through the world to arrive at 10 powers for Travis, type 1. Now, one of the powers of Travis, I want the security guard to hate him. You understand? I want, just for whatever reason, Mida Keneged Mida, I want Travis to have a test. So what I did was I put on a T-shirt on Travis, a white dress shirt. Okay, Travis just came from a wedding, type 1 Travis. And you were wearing a white shirt. And I made a guy come through before you wearing a white shirt, like a yeshiva guy, and the yeshiva guy spit on the guard because he wasn't religious. And you walked in and you had a Torah book in your hand because you're Travis Armstrong, and I learned Torah with a white shirt, type 1. And you accidentally, Travis, you were so excited. Thank God I'm in Israel, right? You actually, I'm sorry to embarrass you, but a little bit of saliva came out of your mouth and landed on his arm. It's embarrassing. I know that. He is ready to kill you. You understand? God created through literally the world of Asiya. The worst part. Is it not the worst part? But that is the world we live in, my friends. It's built from the worst part. It's mundane until you make it holy. I'll tell you another nasty truth, speaking about Facebook posts and bathrooms, okay? I find, and I'm sorry to put it this way, but it's one of those things that's true. The older you get, when you got to go, the more angry you get. Type 1. It's a sad part of life. You know what I'm saying? Just when old age, when the body hits you, tired, fatigue, when you're a kid and you're slap happy, it's not a problem. But man, are you a cranky bear when you're old? Yeah, you don't even. Yes, I know it. And the thing is, you don't even know it when you're being that around people. When you get older, you have to start factoring in, maybe I was hard on Travis because I'm just tired. It's real. And that is God building the world through the 7 primordial kings to make powers of 10, to make you either invited to the party of 5 or not, which means if you're not, you're just a low life in the fog, and you're going to be just scenery for the guys that are playing in this game. Okay. That's it. We'll stop there. How'd you like that? All right. Stop there. We didn't do the Mazel today. Well, let me get the Mazel book. Hold on. I forgot about that. Let's get the Mazel book. Gotta be Yotzi in the Mazel. Be Yotzi. Ugh. Trick question. Why am I doing the Mazel book when I don't have to? Who's got the answer? Why are we choosing to do the Mazel book when we don't have to? What's the answer? Because we go the long route and take the hard route, and we always take a chance to get stronger whenever we can. Okay. Now, where did I leave off? Okay, there's that. There we go. Medua Nikra Mazel. Why is it called Mazel? Why is it called Mazel? We did that last time too. Mazel ha'elyon. Mazel ha'elyon, the upper Mazel. Ubezoyhar bereshis shinenu. Zohar bereshis it taught. Kol hadinim. Shiba oilam yoytzi meheichel hazeh. All the dinim. The Travis getting the saliva on the arm of the guy at the mall. That's dinim, right? All those dinim that are in the world come out from this chamber. Hain lataiva, hain lara. Some are good, some are bad. You know what you also did, Travis, one time? You smiled at the guy. And what did he do? He smiled back. Thank you for making my nefesh feel good. Thank you for making my nefesh feel bad. Chutz mishleisha elu. Except for 3 things. Banim, Chayim, Umazoinus. Legacy, offspring, life, and nourishment. Shehem toloyim ba'oso nahar ha'ilyon. They are held in their upper river. Mazel ha'ilyon, shakol ha'oiris. Like the upper mazel, that all the lights of Banim, Chayim, Mazon, Nimshachim mimenu, v'rak bo toloi hadavar. They all come out of that, and only that would v'rak bo toloi hadavar. How's it work again? Mazel ha'elyon shekula oiros to bani chayi mazoine nimshachim mimenu v'rak bo toloi hadavar. Wait, this is very tricky lesson. Hold on a second. How's it work? Kol hadinim sheba'olim yotzim ha'heichel hazeh. Kol hadinim hein latayva v'hein l'ra chutz v'shloisha elu. The good and bad things that are in the world, the dinim, come out of that place. Outside it from Mishleisha elu. Banim chayim v'mazores. Shehem toloyim ba'osor. Okay. Got it. When the spittle goes on somebody and you feel disgusted, that came directly from God. You understand that? I mean, God said, din, upset, bad nefesh time. Now, what happened was I looked like an idiot, and I saw that the girl working the metal detector was religious and single. And I said, hi, my name is David Katz. Would you like to maybe give me your phone number? Okay. Now, even if I spit by accident, I look stupid, I have a stain on my shirt, I smiled nice, because one of the things we're saying is life and legacy, right? For her to say yes or no. The answer is held in mazel. You understand? I cannot mess it up. I can say, you are a disgusting person. Would you like to hang out with me sometime? Doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. Because you entered a holy arena of marriage or bringing bread to the table or having a life experience, okay? It literally is governed by God in mazel. God is engineering it. You couldn't have predicted that she was waiting for some guy to insult her to say yes. Okay, life can be strange. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Or it could be when she threw a glass of water on you saying, go away, creep. The woman behind you had mercy on you and said, that guy's for me. You caught what I'm saying? It wasn't the water being thrown on you. That was a product of happenstance. But the reaction and who was there with the divine providence, that was in the mazel. Okay. A kavana lahanhaga ha'ilyan nikras mazel. Lavi sham benitzutze zoyer oizayin ayin ma shekasav b'hagahos bein ariel moyed katan she'ena kavana al koichavim rakan haga ilyana nikra mazel. For all of our good friends that antagonize us and say that mazel, Jews don't believe in mazel because mazel is astrology. You heard that argument? Mazel comes from Atzilus. It is upper spirituality. The intention is not on the stars and astrology. She'ena kavana al kochavim. The intention is not on stars. Rak an haga elyoina. Only the divine happenings in the upper spiritual realm called mazel. Thank you for listening. Be well.